We've covered a lot of ground across this series. The 5 principles, meetings, team dynamics, permission and trust, individual courage and collective ripples. And here's my perspective from working with people on this for years. Understanding the ideas is the easy part. The harder part is making them stick, using them consistently. Not just when it's comfortable, but in the moments where it counts. So this final video is about the long game. How do you take what you've learned and turn it into how you can work? This is a reality for many people. When people encounter something that resonates, they feel it, they see themselves in it, and they recognise value. And then they go back to work and everything more or less stays the same. Doesn't mean they didn't mean it, but it's because old habits have very deep grooves. The default way of responding to a situation kicks in before the new way even gets a chance to show up. And after a few times of reverting, you end up concluding that you're just not wired for this, rather than recognising that change takes repetition, not just intention. Research suggests it takes around 66 days, roughly 9 to 10 weeks, for a new habit or way of thinking to begin more natural. Not 21 days as the popular myth goes. 66. And even that can vary enormously depending on the habit, the person and the context. Be no surprises, that's what's behind my business name, 66 Solutions. So the question is, why haven't I changed yet? It's, how do I give this enough repetition that it takes root? Everything in Weird Wisdom starts with noticing. Before you can use your thinking differently, you have to be able to see when you're falling into the old pattern. That looks like noticing when you're about to say quiet and asking, what am I seeing that might be worth saying? Noticing when you're about to dismiss an idea and asking, what might this be pointing at? Noticing when you're in a norm that no longer serves you and asking, is it still working? Noticing doesn't require a big intervention. It's a small pause, a half second of attention before the automatic response kicks in. That pause is where choice lives. The more you practice noticing, the more often you catch yourself early enough to choose differently. And over time, the new way of responding starts to feel more natural than the old one. Let me give you some ways the 5 principles translate into a daily practice. Not as big commitments, we've got enough of those, but as small, consistent choices. So for the first principle, comfortable with the unknowns. Each day, identify one thing you've been waiting to know before acting. Take one small step without resolving it first. For the second principle, failure is growth. Each week, name one thing that didn't go the way you hoped and extract one thing you learned from it. Third principle, harmony and contradictions. In your next agreement, before arguing your point, ask what the other perspective is protecting. And notice how that changes your response. Fourth principle, exploring the unconventional. Once a week, say something you'd normally hold back. Notice what happens. And finally, the fifth principle, questioning the norms. Once a month, identify one norm in your work that you've never questioned and ask, is this still serving us? None of these are large, but small, consistent practice is what makes change real. One of the most useful things you can do is find maybe just one other person who's working on this alongside of you. You're not forming a study group, just someone to reflect with. Maybe someone who can notice when you're reverting. Someone whose thinking challenges yours in useful ways. This is part of the reason why I built the online course the way I did. The workbook isn't just an exercise collection. It's a place to have a genuine conversation with yourself. To notice what each principle brings up for you specifically, where it feels familiar and where it creates resistance, and what's really changing. And if you want to take it further, to apply this to your specific situations, decisions, and challenges with someone else alongside you. And that's where coaching comes in. Not more information, real conversations about real situations. Because that's where things move most durably. The Using Your Weird Wisdom course, Turn Difference into Contribution, is where you go deeper. 8 modules, 3 formats, and a workbook that moves you from awareness to practice. And if you've already started it and haven't completed your coaching sessions yet, please go book them. They're time limited and they're actually where a lot of the real integration happens. Here's what I want to leave you with across this entire series. Weird wisdom is not about becoming someone different. It's about using more of who you already are. The thinking you carry, shaped by every experience, every failure, every unusual perspective, every question you've learned to notice. That it's not a liability. It never ever was. It's what you uniquely bring to work. The conversations, the decisions, the teams, the problems. The shift is moving from asking, am I doing this right? To asking, what is true for me here? From trying to fit in to choosing to contribute. From filtering your thinking to trusting it. It doesn't happen once. It happens every day when you choose to put your thinking in the room rather than keeping it to yourself. Thank you for spending time this series with me. I really hope there's something in here that has given you a different way of seeing yourself at work and a different sense of what's possible. Your weird is your weird, your destiny. When you embrace it, use it and share it, you don't just change yourself. You change what becomes possible for the people around you. All of the resources mentioned in this series are linked in the description below. If you have questions, bring them. If something resonated in a way you want to explore further, reach out. And if someone in your life is hiding their weird, please share these videos with them. Because the world needs more of that thinking on the table. Next week I will be posting a 5-video disruptor series before returning to the next 11-week series. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of my weird wisdom.